repair, and nutrition counseling, thank you very much, for diabetes patients. In the upstairs of our clinic in the Mandeville office, we also have a full-service spa. And, you know, while there's some ladies and gentlemen that enjoy relaxing up there, which is always a good thing because when we decrease stress, we decrease sugar, right? But in addition to that, we offer pedicure services, diabetic pedicure services, which are so very, very important because as we know, that when the skin of the feet and the hands are kept clean and fungal-free, virus-free, we have a better chance of not getting those ulcerated diabetic wounds and diabetic funguses that can be such a nuisance, not only to us, but wreak havoc, cause our blood sugar counts to go up. Let's see a show of hands. Who in the audience has diabetes? Oh, wow, okay. And okay, how about who doesn't have diabetes? Are you here listening for someone else or just interested in the topic?
Someone else.
Someone else that you know and love, huh? Well, good, that's wonderful. So without further ado, we all know that when we have diabetes, we have to take very special care of our skin. We're going to go through the disease states that can change in diabetes. What I mean by changes, those that can get worse, and of course they can all get worse, and those that can get better. And the ones that, well, no matter what we do, they're still going to be around. But they're a nuisance. What can we do for that? About a third of the people with diabetes will form some kind of a skin disorder during the entire disease state that they have. That's going to be a lifelong disease state. Some skin issues that we see can be an actual warning sign of diabetes. So, for example, as we'll get into later, when we see these leathery patches under the arms or in the groin and some other areas, we actually know that those are warning signs for diabetes, and we should be looking and testing with blood sugar, glucose monitors, or the doctor should be looking in different ways to look for insulin resistance, polycystic ovarian syndrome, and the like. The good news is that many of the skin conditions that come along with diabetes, if they're treated properly and if our sugar is controlled, can improve. Type 1 and 2 diabetes, so both the insulin dependent that the young, thinner people typically get, as well as the older type 2 diabetes that typically comes on with age and a little bit more weight, bad eating habits, obesity. Both of those do have skin disorders associated with them. And what happens is there's an increase in the cross-linking of collagen in diabetes that actually adds to this problem of skin issues occurring topically where we can see them. Inflammation and poor gut function, which we'll get into a lot of that later, also leads to skin disorders. Skin disorders can help the doctor not only in the diagnosis of insulin resistance and diabetes, but also in their management and treatment. Because as you'll come to see, the skin disorders that are treatable get better when what? When our sugar is down, right? Hemoglobin A1C. Is everybody familiar with that term, hemoglobin A1C? HbA1c? Yeah. That, of course, is the average, the 3-month average of our blood sugar in the body. And so we know, not only just a pinprick, that tells me what's happening when, right now. Or we have a fasting glucose, where we fast overnight and we go get blood for the doctor, and it tells us what our blood is that morning. But that's just that moment in time. The hemoglobin A1c gives us an average of what our blood glucose or blood sugar has been over the 3 months. And when we have that, then we know how the molecules have been affected over that 3-month time span and whether or not, on average, we've been spiking high or spiking low. And sometimes we get a surprise, don't we? Because we say, well, every time I check my sugar, it's been really good. Well, how do we explain that? Well, either postprandial, which post means after, prandial means eating. So either right after eating, you're really surging up to the moon, or in other instances, you're making sugar